Greetings, welcome to a Deckard Games YouTube speakers thing, I guess. Today we are going to take a look and do some testing on these lovely Roland MA-8 stereo micro monitors. If you've seen my video on rebuilding my Pentium 1, you would know that back in the day I had a pair of Primax Soundstorm speakers. The guy at the store told us that they were great, and indeed they were, with great sound and everything, but recently they've been failing me. Lately I've been using a pair of Altec Lansing speakers, which by the way are great and pretty compact for people with desk space issues, but I clearly remember back in the day, you know, when time was a little more simple without having to deal with all the things of life and stuff, seeing ads for those Primax Soundstorms that I own and some Roland Micro Monitors. But let's face it, Roland was way out of my budget when it comes to buying speakers to use with a home computer. But seeing Roland stuff at the old computer stores, a thing that is no more, just gave me a teen hard-on. It was Roland. I would hear on a daily basis people talking about Roland stuff and how cool it was. I would read tests and reviews, coming to the conclusion that it was the best thing that money could buy. Yeah, money. At school, we had instruments in the music class, and a lot of them were, of course, from Roland. Seeing music videos and professionals using Roland equipment was just awesome. I could just go to the store and buy some professional awesomeness too. Or maybe not, because money. Although I love my Primax speakers with my homemade stereo surround sound, because I could plug a spare pair of creative speakers to it and have 4-point stereo sound, a bittersweet taste never left my computery experience. Well, 22 years later the time has come to kick the past in the nuts and get my teen hard-on back. I bought myself some Roland MA-8's stereo micro monitors, and we are going to go on a journey to the past. Founded in Osaka, Japan in 1972, Roland manufactures electronic and musical instruments and equipment. They are mainly known for their awesome synthesizers and drum machines. Where there was electronic music, there had to be Roland. Roland became synonymous with quality for the masses. When rival companies targeted professional musicians only, Roland wanted to target the larger market of amateurs and hobbyists and succeeded. It became a standard within new professionals and the benchmark to the rising electronic music industry. So back to the Roland MA-8s. They are equipped with a 10cm woofer and a 4.7cm tweeter with 8 watts of power each, and while 8 watts are not much for desktop speakers, when one is sitting very close to them, I believe that is enough to do the work. At the front, beside the most logical power button and volume knob, there are individual controls for bass and treble, along with some headphone and microphone jack. And at the left speaker we have a speaker which sole purpose is to do some speaker things, no buttons whatsoever. At the back there are 2 stereo line inputs plus a microphone input, along with the power cord, which is always handy. And connecting stuff is as simple as plugging in the left speaker, which has an RCA connector, and the split cable, which is RCA on one end and a 3.5mm jack on the other, with the last connecting to your classic sound card in your classic PC in a classic way. As for the looks of it, well, I like it. Dimension-wise they are quite substantial with 24 by 14 centimeters, and when compared to your regular PC speaker system, they are quite big. The pair that I have is in this beige color that probably was more of a white tone back in the day, and it bears the Roland logo engraved on the grills, giving me that professional feeling that I've always craved. This look and color goes right along with classic computers. The plastic feels okay, It is not the best plastic that I felt on a speaker, but it isn't bad. Each speaker weighs something like 3.5 kilograms or something like 7.7 pounds, with its magnetic shielding for placement near your computer monitor. So, the time has come to play some tunes with our Roland MA-8s. Let's get to it. I'm going to try and compare the sound using 3 different sets of speakers. Of course, you will not be able to enjoy the full experience because of audio recording limitations and YouTube compression and whatnot. So let's start by rocking some Duke 3D because it's a classic, and compare with the other 2 systems. Let's start with the Roland MA-8s. I believe that even in the video you are able to tell the difference in audio quality, especially when comparing the Rolands to the Genius speakers. The sound on Duke 3D is very different. The Altec Lansings, well, they are very close to the Roland quality. Now for some OPL awesomeness with some good old Jill of the Jungle. Again, let's start with the Roland MA-8s. Now in Jill of the Jungle the difference is not so obvious. I believe that the Roland Micro Monitors have the best sound, but the Altec Lansings, at least to my ear, sound exactly the same or almost the same, and even the Genius speakers are very good dealing with the Jill of the Jungle sounds. So let's try out some Raptor for some more great DOS sound, starting again with the Roland MA-8s. And yeah, you can tell the difference. Once again, the sound in the Roland MA-8s is way much clearer than on the other 2 pair of speakers. The Altec Lansings don't fall too much behind. The sound quality is very good, but it's not as clear as on the Roland MA-8s. And with the Genius cheap speakers the sound is just muffled and it doesn't sound right. They are usable, of course, but they fall behind, far behind the other two. So as for the sound quality, the sound is way better than most of your multimedia speakers, and although they only output 8 watts, it's more than enough. The reason for this is that they are near-field speakers. They are meant to be very close to you while in use with your computer, and this means they will sound great and will not tire your ears whatsoever. That being said, I have to admit that these are not studio quality monitors. Distortion can get quite high when making use of them like a home stereo. I've played some music off camera, which I can't play for you because of right claims and stuff, but I can assure you, these are not meant to replace your home stereo. Nevertheless, these are PC speakers and their purpose is exactly that, to be used alongside your computer, sitting close to them, and that's where they shine. They're great sounding multimedia speakers that are just right for a home PC. They sound great on DOS and Windows 95 gaming, along with a classic Sound Blaster 16. Would I recommend the Roland MA-8s? Well, it's really up to you. Even on the second-hand market, they are not a cheap thing, and I guess that the branding and nostalgia of the thing doesn't help to this matter also. They've become sort of collectible. If you have a classic PC and want to play some old DOS and Windows games, they get the job done way better than most of any other speakers, even cheap modern ones. So, if your plan is to assemble a machine like that, to be faithful to the time period, to go with real hardware and peripherals from that time, these are a great option. If you find them on a ship online or a thrift store, whatever, I say go for it. If you don't, well, you can settle for a way cheaper set of speakers, like the Altec Lansings that I'm using, which are something like a fourth of the price of the Roland and still get some great sound quality. So if you like hearing old speakers doing its thing, playing some music and sound effects of really old PC games, you came to the right place. Leave a like in this video and consider subscribing to the channel because that's music to my ears. You can also follow me in the various social media networks that exist for some social media stuff that I post every so often. And as always, thank you very much for watching this. I'll leave you with some Canyon.mid tunes. Until my next video, take care.